So, that was the result of a lost bet? Is that what it is?
Or bad aim, it sounds like. Now, in terms of the acting talent on this panel, you're all quite wonderful, but there's only one. You all play one role, except for that tall drink of water down there. She plays 96 characters on the show. And each one is different than the other, man. What is it like? Like, every time they hand you a script, you're like, who am I playing this week?
Yeah, it's a little bit like that now. I remember the first one that was different was Shelley Godfrey. And I remember talking to Ron at the time, going, okay, she's written a little different, and is she supposed to be, carbon copy, or can she be slightly different? And he gave me the answer that I wanted, that she'd be slightly different. And so I thought she was maybe more kind of a sleeper agent, and I wanted to make her really truthfully believe that she was framing him instead of manipulating him, which I don't know what she was, if she was a sleeper agent or not, but...
She was sexy.
But, actually a little funny side note, he's hurt me a few times filming, and that was one of them, where I'm sitting in the toilet stall, and he's supposed to barge through the door, but as you said, I'm very tall, and the stalls weren't really made for somebody my height, so sitting on the toilet, the knee was the first thing that hit. It's like, barging through the door, no, but, and then really after that it was Gina, and that was the biggest departure, I thought, and it just kind of stemmed from there, and they kept giving me different characters, and for an actor, I think it's just such a thrill to be able to play, and especially having been predominantly number 6 prior to some of these other 6s coming on. Number 6, in her own way, can be quite limiting, just because she's not part of, when she's not seen by the rest of the characters in the script, you're hiding, and I know you've probably heard this, you tell the stories of this before, I've seen it in the other conventions, but you're hiding under a table, or you're ducking behind a cameraman, or you're stepping over a wire and popping up at the opportune moment, but it kind of makes you feel like you're not really in, you've missed the look that Starbuck gave Anders, or whatever it may be, and you kind of feel like, okay, I'm in, and now I'm out, I'm in, so to have...
I'm thinking of the time where I had to pretend you weren't there and sit on you.
Oh, yeah! Yeah, exactly my point. I was really not there, and but I am, and so Katee sat on my lap. And, yes. It was actually fun for me at the end because I got so used to it, but it was funny working with a different actor every time they kind of had their first scene with me as the Invisible. And I remember Richard Hatch in one scene, he was like, I had to kind of drape myself over him, and he was so, didn't he keep messing up his lines? Because he's like, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this. Because I'm right there, and he's trying to talk like I'm not there and talk to Baltar, and he's like, oh, this is weird. Making it sound worse than it was. It wasn't that really bad. Yeah, it wasn't that. It was just funny to see how everybody kind of reacts to it.
Wasn't it kind of like Lauren Green never did this to me on the other show?
Basically, yeah.
I'm still stuck back on the visual of you sitting on a toilet for some reason. What episode was that in?
That was Shelley Godfrey. That was the 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, season 1.
Season 1.
Geek test. I'm going to turn it over to everyone else in a minute, but what I've always wanted to do is just do a kind of lightning round of what you all think are the most badass moments in the show. I will start. I thought the Galactica dropping into the atmosphere was perhaps the best moment of television I've seen in my life, just in terms of like a few seconds. Like, what a great idea. Nobody ever thought about doing that before. It was so cool. And while they were prepping for it, I had no idea where it was going, and then suddenly it's like, it was dope. I came. How about you, Jay? What do you think is the most badass moment on the show?
Well, well, a very simple moment actually. In the end of season 3, that crazy pullback through the universe to reveal Earth just floating in the foreground. I thought that was it was not in the script, I don't think, and it was just something that surprised me. And I had goosebumps when I saw that.
Me? Well, you just took the best one. For when I came on the show.
Yeah.
No. my Mexican standoff with Hilo and Sackhoff was pretty cool for me personally. No, really, Kevin, you said probably one of my favorite moments is that when that ship dropped into the Caprica. I think it's probably one of the greatest pieces of television you've ever made. I think I love it. I agree with you 100%.
Right on.
I have 2.
Oh, yes.
One of the coolest things I think is when Galactica fires its cannons, like an old ship. They're really neat. I like it. I think it's neat.
Your second one better be better than your first. I like guns.
It's really scary actually, because my second one has to do with guns too. But it's okay. Proud caring core member. Oh my God, today. When Trucco mentioned the Mexican standoff thing, when Tomo and I had that scene on when we went down to rescue them, or no, when we first met you on Caprica, and this stunt guy or armor guy hands me 2 machine guns, and he went, "Here, you can have 2 machine guns." I was like, awesome. And Tomo had 1 gun, and we were firing, and we kept firing and firing and firing and firing and firing. And one of the moments was when the director came over and told Tom to stop acting like a girl. and then the other one, his face was like it was somewhere between like blue steel and like Xanadu. He was like, and then the moment was awesome when they came at lunch and they were like, the armor guy looks at the director and went, "We're completely out of ammo."
I want to put a little depth in that story because I heard the story from Tomo's perspective, and the prop didn't hand you 2 guns. As I recall, the story goes that Sackhoff fucking demanded 2 guns. She's like, they give her a Tech 9, or she's like, no, Starbucks will shoot 2 guns. Tomo's like, cool, thanks for the 357. Meanwhile, RoboCop.
Jamie always asks me, he's like, "Why are you the only one of the SWAT members in a t-shirt? And everyone else is like in all this full armor, they're all sweating profusely under these helmets and stuff." I'm like, "I don't know, I just did it."